We have a lot to catch up on. Today's Sunday, we're getting ready to go to brunch. I don't know about you guys, but we've been like so much more social lately in the last like month. And I think it's just because we've actually been home and haven't been traveling and going to weddings like we were when summer first started. And now it's like we're spending time catching up with people who we haven't seen in a long time. But I figured I could get ready with you guys and just talk about all my life updates because we have so much to talk about. Warning that this front portion of this vlog is probably gonna be so chatty from this part, but it'll feel like we're on FaceTime, so I think it's a good thing. For starters, I was going to start this vlog last week and it be like a vlog from the week that I was putting in my 2 weeks to my corporate job, because that's what I did last Monday, 6 days ago. However, we had a bunch of crap hit the fan at our house that made last week just chaotic and stressful. I told you guys in my last vlog about how we had a leak in my office in here, and we wanted to make sure that there wasn't any mold in our attic or like in the wall or anything, because we didn't know how long really water had been leaking into the ceiling and stuff from the attic. And all of this happened because of just people who did not install our AC properly, didn't run one of the lines outside that's like supposed to be ran outside to have the water drip out and stuff, and they literally just like left it sitting in the attic, so it eventually turned into a leaking mess. So we had our guy come out to fix the sheetrock and drywall and stuff from where the leak had happened in my office. Griffin wanted me to ask him while he was here on Monday or Tuesday, whatever day it was, if he could check, like double check to make sure that there wasn't any mold on anything in the attic, like anywhere where he was repairing stuff or in the wall. We also had people come out yesterday to fix our insulation in our attic in some spots because it wasn't like to code and like wasn't high enough, which was definitely making our electric bill higher and making parts of our house hotter. So we got that fixed. But the guy who came out to give us a quote about that before we had our sheetrock and drywall guy come out, he was telling us, yeah, like the stuff in the attic feels dry, like I don't really think anything got too wet. Well, then our sheetrock drywall guy who just came out this week, he goes up and checks for us, and he comes back down and he shows me pieces of the old drywall, mold everywhere. And I was like, oh my God. So there's so much mold in the ceiling, like sheetrock or drywall, whatever it's called, and in the wall. He ended up having to, like to the right of the window that I'm sitting in front of, that whole floor to ceiling, he had to take out, which wasn't that much. Thankfully, we caught it when we did, because this could have been way worse and made us very sick, especially me, because I spend so much time in this office. Griffin doesn't really spend a lot of time in here. And then a piece of the wall to my right that's blank. So all of that happened, and that obviously just made the week more stressful. We had people out of our house for like 2 or 3 days fixing stuff. Thankfully, we got it fixed and taken care of, so we don't have to worry about it anymore. But all of that being said, I was gonna vlog last week, but I just was dealing with that. I wasn't in the headspace to vlog because I was just stressed out. And then I figured it would be fun to just make this vlog a vlog for my last week of my corporate job working in public accounting. Yes, you heard that right. I put in my 2 weeks last Monday, and I'll insert some footage really quickly. I've been wanting to update you guys on how it went since I was vlogging right before it and then just like never picked up the camera again.
As excited as I am, you think I would not be so anxious to do this. I literally went back and watched the vlog from the day I put in my 2 weeks for my first job in Big Four to hype myself up for today, because I don't know why it's so hard for me to do it. I think I just like freak out about how people are going to react and respond, and I really shouldn't, because it's not like their decision. I'm trying to just like calm myself because my heart is racing right now, but we've got to get it done. I need to rip the band-aid. My heart's just like racing and I feel so tingly and anxious. I think I'm anxious though because I'm worried about them like making my life miserable for the next 2 weeks and like trying to like crank as much work out of me as possible. But I'm like, surely if my Big Four job didn't do that, they won't. But I quit my Big Four job in December right before the holidays, so like nobody was doing anything anyways. And now I'm quitting like pretty soon before busy season, which was not ideal. I was waiting until I knew I had a job to put in my 2 weeks for this job because I wanted to have an offer letter and everything like already before I said anything for this job. Quitting at the end of July, not necessarily ideal. One thing I've learned is there's never a good time to quit, especially in public accounting, because somebody will always have something to say about the timing of when you quit. Because if you quit in December, they're like, oh, it's right before winter busy season. Quit in the summer, they're like, oh, it's right before fall busy season. And then if you quit any other time, it's in the middle of busy season, so you can't really win. But let's get it done with. My devotional yesterday was so timely, or I read it this morning, but it was for yesterday. It was talking about how moving forward in our lives always takes great strength and courage and requires us to challenge ourselves to interrupt our existing ruts and to take risks. How God's mercy always calls us to progress into our future so we don't overstay in the wrong place. and he gives us steps and an action plan. And the affirmation at the bottom is, thank you for promising to provide direction to me as I get up and go on to the next good thing you have for me. And I think that's just like so perfectly timely for putting in my 2 weeks today. And it's giving me a sense of peace for doing so.
But it went really well. Everyone was really understanding. And honestly, like everybody really affirmed my decision. One of my senior managers, he was telling me, he was like, it's really good you're making this decision now because you kind of end up in like the golden handcuffs when you get further along in the career, where taking a step down in pay, like once you're so far along in tax, just doesn't even make sense because you've gotten so acclimated and used to living off of that salary, especially if you have a family. So you kind of just have to deal with it even if you don't like it, because one, you're already so niche into your career when you're working in such a specific part of tax, and two, it would just be so much harder to make that career change and take like a really big change in income later in life and later in your career. That was really affirming, and I appreciated like that honest like feedback and advice, I guess. It was so funny because one of my other senior managers, I love her, she was like, oh my gosh, I knew it. And I was like, what do you mean? The week before, I had told Griffin about this because it was really stressing me out. I was doing 2 returns for her and something happened like with the software where it didn't save like what I had done. And so when I sent her the returns for review, they were just like, just all this stuff was wrong. And I was like so embarrassed because I was like, of course, that's something I always check as self-review before I send something off for review. So it was just really weird that like everything got messed up. So that had happened like the week before I put in my 2 week, and she was like, you're normally a high performer, and with those returns being wrong last week, I was just so confused. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's so embarrassing. Which like, fine, whatever, I get it. I was like, actually that was like not me not caring. I was still trying hard to give you good work product and stuff. Something just went wrong with the software because it always has so many issues. Feel like y'all probably knew I did not like my corporate job again this time around in tax. I really went into this job thinking, okay, this is my chance to see if I didn't like Big Four and I didn't like working at like a huge company, or if it is the job that I don't like and the work that I don't like. Because that's what I couldn't tell. When I left my corporate job in Big Four, I was really burnt out and I was like, I can't tell if I hate this work, which I was pretty sure I did, but I wasn't too sure since I only had spent like 2 years there, because I knew I loved my teams, or if I just like needed the work somewhere different with like a different culture, like smaller field, that kind of thing, which is why I like decided to end up going to this firm, and because I couldn't find any jobs in general finance and like in industry for accounting that I could do. I was having such a hard time with those. I was like, I'll give it a shot. Y'all know busy season rolled around. It was literally hell. Required to work 55 hours a week, and that's like billing 55 hours. That's not like counting, okay, I logged on at 9 o'clock today, so I just need to make sure I'm in front of my computer for however many hours to hit 55. No, it's the time you're billing to client. That was really difficult and a big adjustment, because while that was kind of like an expectation when I was in Big Four, it wasn't this thing where you were really being monitored on a weekly basis. It was more so on like a monthly basis, so it wasn't as like stressful. And then also, of course, going in office and having like a 45 minute commute on the days I was going in office, all of that on top of just like working those hours was horrible. I was expected to like log on every day on the weekend, so Saturday and Sunday. I worked some weekends in my Big Four job, but like honestly maybe like only 7 or 8 in my 2 years there. They also aren't giving bonuses anymore to anyone under manager, so I wouldn't have gotten a bonus this year, which is crazy in public accounting. All that being said, I think you guys know I was not happy. I realized after this busy season, it's not so much like the firm and the people, it's me. I'm not a good fit. This is not a job for me, the field for me, and I think I've known that for a long time, and I just had a really hard time taking action on that knowledge and like doing something about it, because I just felt kind of stuck and felt like I had to stay in the field that I got my degree in and got my CPA for, because I put so much time and effort into it, right? But like my senior manager was saying, the longer I just like stay in this field, it's gonna be harder and harder to get out, and I just didn't want that to happen to me. So I was like, if I make a career change, it needs to be now, like when I'm not making, you know, crazy good money that's too hard to turn down, and before we have kids and stuff. So now it just made sense. I had interviewed for some stuff back in like May and June that just ended up not working out. Kind of like just some general finance roles at like smaller companies. But even with those, I wasn't feeling convinced that like that was what I wanted to do. It was just like a lateral move I knew I could make. It would be a little bit better than my job, but I still didn't really feel excited about it. And one day, Griff and I got to talking about just like my career and like what I want, what I'm passionate about. He was like, have you ever considered doing like what your talent managers do? And I was like, honestly, no, because I just like didn't really ever, I don't know, think about the other side of being a content creator like that. So I got to talking to my talent manager and I was like, hey, do you even think this would be a possibility? Like if I were to, you know, maybe try and work at this agency that I've been a part of since 2018, like since I first signed to an agency, and it's an agency that I love so much. They've absolutely like changed my life. My managers helped change my life with just like how incredible they are. I know firsthand how amazing and impactful it is to have a team of great people behind you as a creator, have a great network and hustle hard to get you brand deals that are like in alignment with your content and who you want to partner with, helping you with strategy and brainstorm and stuff when you're in ruts, land your dream deals, all that stuff. I know how impactful it is because I've firsthand experienced it. And I was like, that sounds so fulfilling to be able to be that person for other people. And I'm obviously so passionate about social media, and it's a field I've been a part of for so long. And I personally, like, I don't want our children on social media. So I've kind of always thought that there will be a time, like when the time comes that we have kids and stuff, I would probably like, I don't know, taper off and posting content and like just not share as much anymore. And while I don't know if that's necessarily true, because there's still ways for me to share content without like having my children in it, I just think things would change probably. I don't really know if I would necessarily completely stop. If I'm working a normal job and being a mother, I probably would not have the time for doing content still, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I was like, this is a way for me to like still be a part of a field that I've been a part of for 8 years now, and with this agency for 7, just on the other side. And if there's ever a day where I'm just like, okay, I'm not doing content anymore, I'm still plugged into the world that I have been a part of for so long and care so much about and I'm really passionate about. I know a lot of people hate social media and stuff, but you can look at it in 2 ways. I think it also has created like such an incredible community for people who are alone, educate people, all kinds of incredible stuff. And I love that. And social media has changed so much since I first got into being a creator. And I have been a part of social media through so many phases of changes and everything. All this being said, I ended up reaching out to someone at my agency who's been there a little longer than I have, and she set up like my interviews for me. I went through like the normal process, or at least I'm pretty sure it's the normal process because I talked to 3 different people over the span of a month, which was just like so nerve-wracking, knowing that this was a possibility for me, but not knowing if it was going to come to fruition. Like going to work every week was so difficult, and I was just like so stressed and sad because I was like, if this doesn't work out, I genuinely don't know what I'm gonna do, because I got so excited about the idea of being a talent manager, clung to the idea and was already getting so excited about it, but it wasn't set in stone yet. So I was like trying not to get too excited, you know, but it was really hard having to like show up for my normal job, do my normal work, knowing that that was potentially going to be happening soon. But I was talking with them for over the span of like a month. A week ago from yesterday, I got my offer letter, and that was super exciting. And it was actually the craziest full circle moment, because I was on Facebook just looking at my memories, and you know how like your Instagram story memories, they'll show up in your Facebook memories if your accounts are connected. I had a memory. The first crazy thing is that 4 years prior to the day that I got the offer letter for my new job to work at my talent agency as a talent manager, 4 years prior, I started studying for the CPA exam. And I thought that was just like kind of ironic that I got the offer letter for like the new job that's in a new field. Then I scroll, and the next memory I see, which this gave me like full body goosebumps. When I was in college, I hadn't checked my mailbox in my apartment for a while. When I had gotten back to school for the fall semester, I was going through my mail, and my birthday's in April, as y'all know, or maybe you don't know. 7 years ago, my Instagram story memory was from a picture that I had taken of a birthday card that obviously was from months prior, but I had just opened it on that day at the end of towards the end of July when I got back to school. And guess who it was from? It was from my talent agency, and it was like signed by the co-founders, because at the time it was a team of 4 people, and now they have like 50 plus people, I think, on their team. But it was a 21st birthday card, like handwritten, that they had sent me, and I had just opened it really late. That memory was 7 years prior to getting my offer letter from this agency to the day, which I just think is so full circle. And it was just like kind of a little God wink, like telling me that I'm making the right steps and in the right direction. And it just gave me like a lot of peace about like what I'm doing with my life and where I'm going, and having faith in this next chapter. I was so miserable in my last job, and it got really bad after we like took a bunch of PTO for like weddings and stuff recently in like May and June, when I was having to come back and like I didn't really have any PTO to look forward to or anything. It was getting really, really bad with just like my mental health and stuff, because I was realizing how miserable I was, and knowing that fall busy season was right around the corner, I was just really struggling with with thinking about that. I was in just like a really dark place mentally, and it was like really impacting just like my everyday life, and it was impacting like my relationship with Griffin. Not in like a bad way, like nothing bad was happening. Having a horrible attitude all the time and like just not a fun person to be around because I was so miserable, and that's just like not how I want to live my life and who I want to be. I really like had just been like on my knees, like in desperation, like praying to God, give me the courage to make this decision and, you know, just guide me on whatever path is set forward for me that's aligned with your will, and really just try my best to fully surrender. I'm so bad about being like, yeah, I'm like letting go and letting God and surrendering this to God, but then I'm like still kind of holding on to it with my pinky, you know? And this is like the first time I feel like I've really just like gotten to a place of peace because I was so miserable, and just trusting that like, okay, even if this doesn't work out, am I going to be upset? Yes, but I'm just like not going to let it ruin my life because I'm going to fully trust that like the right thing's going to come along. I feel like I have so much I could say, and I don't really want to talk about like my old job too much because at the end of the day, it was not meant to work in tax. I knew I didn't want to work in tax because I knew I would not be able to be the like partner, the friend, the daughter, the spouse that I want to be working in the field, because it drains me so much. Even outside of busy season, it drains me because I'm just so exhausted from like forcing myself to be interested in and try to enjoy something that I literally do not care about. You know, it's really hard and scary to completely just like decide you're going to change your career, especially after you spent so many years in college and you put so much time and energy into like taking and passing the CPA. And you know, I spent so long trying to convince myself that like I would like the job and it would eventually come to me, but the longer I spent in it, the more it just affirmed for me that it was just like not where I'm supposed to be and meant to be. I think what really solidified this for me though is I got to a point, like when I was in my last Big Four job, I could look at like the higher up people and my bosses and say like, yeah, I could like be myself in their position one day, and like I could see that for myself. But at my current job, like every however many months, I have to set these goals with like my manager slash counselor and go over them. And every time like it came time for me to set these, I was like, I literally don't have any because I don't care. And I looked at my bosses and I was like, I do not want their job. I don't want to be a partner. I don't want to be a senior manager. I don't want to be a manager. Like I do not want this job. So why am I here? Was not what I wanted to do with my life. Spending any longer than I needed to be in that field and in that career was going to seriously impact my mental health and my well-being and just myself overall and my like existence and how I'm able to show up in life. Might sound dark, but I am honestly like not even laying it on very thick for you guys. I'm kind of giving the abridged, even though it doesn't feel abridged version. And this hadn't happened before. Like this didn't even happen in my last job really, but I got to a point this summer where I was like really getting so depressed, and I was really trying not to show it on camera for you guys because I never want to bring that energy to the internet. But also I want to like keep things real, but I also don't want to be like miserable on camera because like who wants to watch that, you know what I mean? But I was really struggling doing things that I even like enjoy normally, and I was just like so down and depressed. Like it was really hard for me to get out of bed in the morning. I was like skipping more and more workouts. I was, you know, not wanting to see people and really just kind of isolating, or trying to at least, which I also knew was a sign that, you know, cannot continue. And in God's perfect timing, I got my offer letter, was so excited, and it was really scary for us because it is a huge change of pay, obviously. I'm not necessarily going to like entry level in this industry because I obviously have experience in the talent management space, but just like not direct experience. So I'm gonna be a talent manager and I'm so excited. I feel like a huge weight has been lifted off my shoulders, and I'm genuinely like over the moon, so happy and excited. And I don't feel nervous. I mean, I feel a little nervous. Everything I feel, it's like butterflies. Like I'm that kind of nervous and excited. And I'm gonna be remote, which I can't wait for. More time at home with my babies, Ella and Oscar. I don't have to commute, which is gonna be so nice. And it'll just give me more energy to pour into other areas of my life that I've been neglecting for so long. And I know I'm gonna have to work hard. Like, listen, I worked so much unpaid overtime in public accounting and I hated it. But if I'm gonna be working really hard and working over 40 hours a week in something, like it needs to at least be something I am at least a little bit interested in, passionate about, or fulfilled fulfilled by. Like if it's not checking any of those boxes, I don't need to be there. And that's how public accounting was for me. And when we're talking about being a talent manager, I know I haven't done it yet, so there's like still a lot that I won't know how I feel about some things, but there's going to be aspects of the job I don't like. That's true of every job. I'm not searching for a job that's going to make me 100% happy, because I know that's not going to be there, and I also don't want my happiness to be provided by my job. Like I don't need to be looking to my job for happiness. And I know that there are going to be times where I have to hustle hard and I'm going to be working over 40 hours a week, but I'm like, at least I'm making a difference in somebody's life and helping someone and feeling fulfilled by that, and at least I'm passionate about it. And all of this being said, it was definitely a hard and scary decision to make, because obviously I make good money as a senior in public accounting and tax. So saying goodbye to that salary was definitely like the hardest thing, I think. Worth it to me. Like no amount of money is worth being miserable. I would rather have less money and have to like just not spend as much for a period of time if it meant getting me out of a miserable situation. But I'm gonna have like a low base salary because it is commission based, and I'm probably not gonna make, you know, a commission check for a while. So the good thing is all the brand deals that I've done over like the last quarter, a lot of them haven't been paid out yet. So I kind of just went ahead and modified our budget. We cut a bunch of stuff out and reduced as much as we could. We went ahead and got like the plane tickets we need to get for most of the weddings. We're working on doing like the hotels and stuff for the weddings we have left. But I took all that money from the brand deals, and when I was like rebuilding our budget, I pretty much annualized everything that I knew I will 100% be getting paid out, whether it's like a brand deal I've already done or it's under contract right now and I haven't done it yet, or if it's like pending. If I knew with 100% certainty I was going to be getting that money, I added that to my income and just like divided it by 12. And even though I won't be receiving it all each month, and it'll be more so in like these chunks randomly, I have money set aside that I can like pretend is that money and just like pay myself that extra money each month to supplement these months where I'll be making the lower base salary and not having commission. So we made sure things worked, and everything obviously a little scary. And it's going to be a temporary amount of time where we're working with a lower income than what we're used to, and we're having to make some adjustments in our lifestyle in a way, but it's all stuff that's worth it at the end of the day. And I also know like with Griffin, his job, the way his job is, he will, you know, his income's going to increase like every year that he's working just with experience and stuff. So I know that that will also help in the long run, but I'm still able to be a content creator. We aren't sure about like the brand deal side of it. So I can still upload content and everything, and I still will. A lot of people in my life were kind of shocked when I was telling them that I was making this change and like even considering it if I potentially have to give up the brand deal income. Here's the thing. I've never wanted me and Griffin to be so reliant on my brand deal income. Like that's kind of partially why I've, you know, always had a corporate job, and like why I always wanted to work a corporate job. I still make money from affiliate links and from like AdSense and stuff. So I still would have that as like additional income and everything, but obviously that's like kind of nominal compared to what you make from brand deals. My future as a creator, like I don't ever see like a end date of me stopping creating content. I do think things will probably change quite a bit when the day comes that we have kids, but that's not anytime soon, at least in our plan. And a lot of people are probably like, well, why don't you just be a creator? Because you'd probably make more as a creator and not have to give up the brand deals than I would as a talent manager. And my answer to that is one, benefits are expensive, like healthcare and stuff like that. And two, it's like being a content creator full-time, it's fun and everything. And if you have another business idea that you're pursuing on the side, I think it's like that is the way to do it. But if you're just creating content and you don't have the strongest mental health, I just think it's very difficult to manage the highs and lows of it, and just difficult to manage monetizing your existence. And I personally get really exhausted with my income being tied to the way I'm living my life. So much of it is performative, even when you don't want it to be, because you're trying to create this aesthetic and you're trying to create this good looking video and this good looking shot, and that really like drains me if it's all I'm doing. But if it's something that I'm doing as a creative outlet, I have the best time with it, if that makes sense. I'm really going on like so many tangents now, but I couldn't be more excited and more thankful. And I have already talked about this on Instagram and TikTok and posted about it. I just couldn't hold it in. So I'm sorry, YouTube fan, that you're like knowing way later. And I think the day you're watching this will be my first day of my new job. I'm pretty sure, at least. So I'm really appreciative of all the support already on socials, and I just appreciate you guys sticking through this journey with me through the times where I haven't been happy and I've been working this job that I seriously was draining my existence. I know it was probably a hard watch at times, but I love you guys and thank you for the support, and I'm so excited for this next chapter and to just like document this career change and share all of it with you guys. And I don't know, I'm just so thankful, and it's truly just such a full circle moment. And seriously, thank God, because I was in such a dark place, and I truly think that getting to a point where I had nothing else to give and just surrendering everything and trusting that things would work out if I was still there, you know, deciding to take action instead of waiting until I felt ready, and trusting that things will work out as long as I was doing that and not just being stagnant. Because obviously just like praying and like expecting something to fall in your lap, that's not gonna happen more than likely. I'm just really thankful and excited, and I just feel like so much better, so much better. And I didn't think I was gonna get emotional, and I don't need to get emotional because I just did my makeup. I think sometimes I just really felt like I was in such a dark place and didn't think I would ever get out, or getting out just felt so scary and not something I felt like I was strong enough to do. But that's why I leaned on my faith, and that's why I leaned on my incredible support system during that time. And Griffin has been just like the most supportive, and he's consistently said like, do what you need to do to be happy, and I couldn't be more grateful for that support. And he's just like a lot more optimistic, so it like really helps me in my dark times. I'm just very thankful for it. I've been talking for an hour. That's insane. My office is a mess right now. We actually just took my black desk out of here. I let Griffin take it into his office. He's seeing if he likes it, because I may end up getting a new desk or just use my vanity for the time being. But he's gonna see if he likes it, and if he likes it, he'll keep it. If not, we'll put it back in here, and then he'll just get a different desk. So that desk is in there, and everything that was on my desk is on my vanity now. But I also have a ton of stuff on my vanity that I just need to clean up, and because of all the work that the workers were doing in here, everything got very dusty. So even though there were tarps everywhere, I'm like looking at our curtain rod, and there's so much like just dust from the drywall on it and everything. So I'm trying to dust everything down and clean it up. So that's what we're gonna do now, and just working on Sunday reset goal type activities. This vlog is going to have a lot of life reset related things, since I am like totally changing my life here over the span of the next week, with starting a new job a week from tomorrow and leaving public accounting this Friday. I don't really have like a break in between the two jobs, except for the weekend, of course. And I don't have any plans next weekend, which is good, because I'll be able to just like chill out and ease myself into the new job. But I have a lot I want to get done this week, and just like resetting my life in general and doing some self-care, revisiting our budget, all kinds of stuff like that. So there will be lots of that fun content in this vlog. This is not my computer. This is the monitor that I just like got through my job. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and box it up, or just at least like set it next to the box, because I'll have to take it in on Friday on my last day. So we're just gonna leave it in the corner for now. It's already 4:40. Today's just like flying by since we were at brunch for so long, and I'm sorry I didn't get many clips there. I was really confused if I was gonna like start the vlog today or not. So like this morning I did the whole get ready with me, and then I was like, wait, I think I'm just gonna put that in the vlog and not vlog today, because I'm trying to film like a Sunday reset on like short form content. It's just a lot to film on both devices and everything, on my camera and my phone. But I ended up deciding to just vlog today. But I just made a better green. I literally love this stuff. It's greens powder that like actually tastes really good and doesn't taste like garbage. This is the tangy churro flavor. I also really love the strawberry colada, and I'm like dying to try the coconut watermelon, but I don't have that flavor. They have caffeinated ones and non-caffeinated ones. So I just made the non-caffeinated since it's like so late in the afternoon. But I love, love, love having the caffeinated ones at like 1-2 p.m. on a work day. Oh my gosh, it's the best. And I do have a discount code. I think it's Asselin. I'll leave it on screen, but I'll also put it in the description box. Sorry if it's super loud. I have the washer, dryer, and dishwasher going right now, so it's a lot. But I'm about to make some mango chia seed pudding. I've made this before, and it's really good. I personally like it. But I was gonna make mango protein overnight oats, and then I realized that that wasn't the recipe I made before, and it was chia seed pudding I made. So I'm gonna make the chia seed pudding. I think it makes 3 jars, I believe. It's super easy, so I'm gonna go ahead and throw everything into a blender and get it all divided up so that I have breakfast ready to go for the week. I'm not in fall mode in any other way besides my content I'm consuming. I have so much like fall content on my For You page, and then also just in the coffees I'm making, because I was lucky enough to find the Chobani pumpkin spice creamer on August 1st, which is amazing. I just did a little pumpkin caramel though, because I also have the malt caramel creamer, and I thought that sounded like a good combo, and it's really, really good. Happy Monday, and cheers to my last week in public accounting. I'm going to update my doodle planner. I have my mango chia seed pudding and my coffee, and I'm going to update it for the last few days because I did color it in, but I haven't done anything for August 1st through 4th. I did film B-roll last week when I wasn't vlogging. Before I film mine out for the last few days, and while I talk to y'all, I will, I don't know, I guess put the B-roll on screen of me coloring the doodle planner. I realized I talked for so long yesterday with changing my jobs and talking about that, and didn't even like say some of the things that I really wanted to say, which I really wanted to, I guess, emphasize the fact that I did all this on my short form content. I really talked about this more over there. So I think that's why I forgot to say anything about it for like my long form. But my whole life, I have made like my decisions about like my career, the job I do, what I major in, all that kind of stuff based off of what would gain me the like most approval, be the most well respected, something that like looked good and shiny to others, because I was such an academic validation girly in high school and in middle school and elementary school. I gained so much of my self-esteem and just like my self-worth as an individual in how I was performing in school. I pushed myself so hard. I graduated second in my class. I was seriously like doing the most to just be as perfect as I could be, because I felt like that was what made me worthy as a human being. I don't know why I centered my worth on that. It's just how the cookie crumbled, okay? And what happens to a lot of us in our 20s and 30s, whatever age it happens to us, we often realize that we centered our self-worth on something that wasn't ever meant to be our source of worth at the end of the day. Whether that was your grades and how you did in school, what you majored in, the career you chose, combination of all of those, like for me, sport you played, a relationship you're in. A lot of us go through an experience where we center something in our life, and it is our source of our self-worth and our identity. All of that academic validation for me turned into career validation when I was in college. And in college, I was in my classes and they were like, Big Four is so good. Like if you get your degree, go Big Four, like doors will open anywhere. You can go anywhere. And it's like the thing to do if you're in accounting. And when I like heard about Big Four and I looked them up, I was like, oh, this is something that's like shiny. Like people will really respect this. So I decided to take that path. And that's what I wanted for myself at the time. I didn't know any different because I didn't know how I was going to feel about it. So it's not like I had this real world experience to tell me, oh, I'm not going to like accounting and finance. Get to my career and realize like, okay, this just doesn't feel right in every way. I can fake it till I make it, and I can like really just try and force myself to view this as a paycheck. I don't want to sound like a broken record, but I feel like for new people, I have to say this. I totally believe that you can totally just view your 9-to-5 job
as a paycheck and nothing more. I absolutely think that's a doable thing and it's a great thing. And I envy those of you who are able to do that. I am not able to do that. The way my personality is, I am like the advocate personality. I am a very passionate person. I'm a very emotional person. All of that being said, it's really hard for me to work 40 plus hours a week, especially in a job that has multiple busy seasons a year where I'm having to work unpaid overtime. It's hard to do that and not be interested in it, passionate about it, and just not care about it, which I did mention yesterday. That's just how I am. And I'm not going to sit here and try and force myself to be it's just a paycheck person, because that will be a road to my own misery. And I don't want to be on that path and on that road because it makes me a worse person overall. So all that being said, this is the first time in my life where I've made a decision like truly just based off of what I'm interested in and what I think is good for me, instead of centering something else and centering other people's perspectives and opinions and what will get me the most applause at the end of the day. I think I've realized as I've gotten older, we all think about ourselves a little bit too much. Who am I to sit here and like center other people's opinions and how they think about me and the job I'm doing and think that they are thinking about what I'm doing that much? Like, nobody's thinking about it as much as I am. I am thinking about what other people could potentially be thinking about me more than the people are actually thinking about me. I've heard people say that for so long, but I think you just get to an age and you've heard things so many times, and you could hear something 10 times, twice, 16 times, 57 times, and there's no telling when it's gonna like actually resonate with you, you know? It finally has just resonated with me, and I finally realized, you know, like, I have one life. My life is way too short to work a job I am totally miserable in. Here's the thing, the work goes into it because you guys are seeing the final outcome right now. I haven't been able to share obviously the behind the scenes of when I was like job hunting and like interviewing and stuff. And this has been a long time coming. I went to therapy for the first time when I started my first full-time job and was miserable. I did so much unlearning, unpacking about what I place my values in, re-identifying my values as a person. And my therapist really helped me with realizing I'm a perfectionist. I obsess over what other people might be thinking of me and their perception of me. I heard all of those things from my therapist, and I learned things I could do to help me deal with that. But it took me years of like really dwelling on what I was told and what I learned there to finally be able to take action. So like, this is a years long process of me getting to this point. And it's accumulation of trying 2 jobs in a field to make sure I didn't like it, interviewing for different jobs, going to therapy and unlearning a bunch of stuff and learning stuff about myself, re-identifying my value system. It's just been so many different things. At the end of the day, I have so much more peace knowing that my worth is not going to come from anything I do job-wise, who I'm married to, the amount of money I have, the amount of followers I have. None of this worldly stuff defines my worth. But I was just looking to worldly things to provide validation for myself and looking to those worldly things as a source for fulfillment and happiness, and putting all of my eggs in these baskets that were never meant to fulfill me to the degree I was looking for. And I was thinking all of these things would make me worthy as a human being, not realizing that I don't have to do things in order to receive that love, and I don't have to have a certain job in order to be respected by people. But I really wanted to make sure I said all of that because I know I talked about it a lot more on social media. Part of it is just like getting to the age I'm at and really coming to terms with things that I've known for so long but haven't truly believed and internalized, if that makes sense. I did like a 5-minute car chat on my TikTok talking about how ready is more of a decision than a feeling. That's a quote I saw on Pinterest, and it really, really resonated with me for the season of life I'm in. I've always been someone that wants to wait until I feel ready to take risks, leaps of faith, to do like the next big thing in my life. I always wait for this moment of clarity to come, because I think if a moment of clarity comes that like tells me, okay, I'm ready, then that means I'm not assuming as much risk in doing that scary thing. So I sit here and tell myself, I'll wait until I feel ready. But the reality is that moment never comes, and you just tell yourself that in order to remain comfortable in the present day and to defer getting uncomfortable, because you know that with the second you take that risk and the second you do that thing that's uncomfortable and the second you do that scary thing, it's going to make you uncomfortable. So it's kind of just like a defense mechanism that we have to tell ourselves that we're going to wait till we feel ready. But really, it's just deferring taking action until later so that we can remain more comfortable now. But the sooner you decide to feel ready, the sooner you will know what lays on the other side of that scary decision. We're so scared. We're so scared of taking these risks, and we're so scared of doing these big scary things and making these big changes because we don't know what lies on the other side of it. But the sooner you just decide to be ready instead of waiting to feel ready, the less amount of time you have to anticipate it and be anxious about it, about what's on the other side, and the sooner you find out what's on the other side. I have known that, and I've literally seen quotes about that. I've seen videos about that for years, but it wasn't until like now that I can really believe it and see it, and I was able to take it and apply it in my actual life. I got so frustrated when I was working my Big Four job, when I was working my current job, just like, when is my time gonna come that I get out of this? Because I know it's not for me. I was trying to force it to be for me, and I finally got to a point after this past busy season, I was like, there's no forcing that's happening here. And now that everything has happened the way it's happened and in the timing it has, I fully understand why it all happened in the timing it did. I have so much peace with the timing of when everything happened, and so much peace with the fact that I struggled so much for so long, because I wouldn't have been able to make this decision and take this leap any sooner than now, because it just makes the most sense now, and I understand why I did it now. The timing of when I finally decided to just be ready instead of waiting to feel ready makes so much sense to me. Anyways, I need to get my video ready to upload for today. It's my finishing reading series I'm in the middle of, so I'm gonna do that, update my doodle journal, and then we're gonna log on to work. It's lunchtime and I'm gonna head off to F45 and do a lunch workout class. I don't know if I slept through my alarm this morning or if it didn't go off. I haven't checked to see what time I had it set for. I'm pretty sure it went off and I just like was literally asleep and turned it off, and I don't remember doing it. Anyways, we're just gonna do a lunchtime workout. I have leftovers from dinner last night that I can just heat up when I get back, so don't have to take any time to like make lunch today, which definitely helps being able to do a lunchtime workout. I really don't have much going on at work, so I'm just like tying up loose ends, which I kind of like worked really hard to get a lot of that done last week. I'm wearing this Target tank top and then these Lululemon leggings. I can't remember the exact name of these. They're like the Wonder Under Smooth Cover. That's what they're called. But I'll leave them linked because I think both of these are still sold. For the day, and I took a break this afternoon to like prep our dinner because our chicken needed to marinate. We're gonna do some grilled chicken skewers. We thought our grill was broken, but we had like a faulty propane tank. So I'm glad the grill's not broken, and I'm excited we're able to use it again because we love grilling. So I took a quick break to chop up all of the herbs and stuff and get the chicken marinating, but Griffin should be home soon, and I wanted to go over now, before I forget about it, the things that I'm revising and resetting for our budget, given that I'm taking a reduction in pay for this new job as part of this starting over vlog and resetting my life, or really our lives. Okay, so as far as our budget goes, I'm not gonna give like exact numbers, what our income's changing to or anything like that, because it's so subjective for everyone. First and foremost is like cutting out the things that are just like truly not necessary. Y'all know I've been working with Deeper Than Money on Instagram. I offer really great courses for just financial literacy. While I haven't taken the entire like Wealth Accelerator course, I don't really think I need to like sit through the entire thing because I have a very good foundation, obviously just like from my education, and then obviously with my husband being a financial planner. We know a lot of this stuff, but I do really like their approach to things in terms of healing my relationship with money. So I've been using the resources that I have from my account with them, because through working with them, I was able to get access to the whole course. So through that, I've been utilizing some of the resources for just like healing my relationship with money, because it's very bad, because I just grew up stressing about money from a very, very young age, which is why I've always made such like safe career decisions, because I literally remember being 18 and thinking I never want my children to have to worry about money the way I had to at times when I was growing up. I was like, what job can I do to prevent that from happening? All that being said, said, I mainly was looking at the things for like healing your relationship with money and really focusing on strategy over sacrifice, which is like their mantra when it comes to budgeting. I also just got like some good tips. And one of those things, which I guess we can lead with, is they have like a negotiating playbook where it's like ways you can start the conversation of negotiating things you wouldn't typically think to negotiate. And one of them is the gym membership. I know I was doing Gym Pass, which was like $192 a month, crazy expensive, but I was doing through my corporate job. I did just find out from my work friend that I can actually keep Gym Pass as long as I like am still active on it. On my last day of the job, I can just like stay on Gym Pass if I want. However, I don't think I'm going to do that just because it is $192 a month and I haven't even really been utilizing it. I have been going to spin classes over the last like 2 months here and there just to hang out with my work friend. But the spin class is 30 minutes away from me, first of all, so it's far. And then second of all, I don't want to be paying an extra $35 a month just to go to a spin class like every few weeks. I'd rather just pay the drop-in fee when I go, pay for class pass credits that would allow me to just take like one class a month even. So for my gym membership, I'm back to just doing F45 unlimited, which is typically $180 a month, but something that you can negotiate with gym memberships, because honestly, these people are going to want your business more so than like losing your business just because they aren't going to give you a discount for the most part. I feel like that's my personal opinion and how I feel like most gym places would probably approach this situation. Say you go to like enroll in a membership, a lot of times these fitness studios, they do have promos and deals. Always ask about the promos and deals, and if they aren't offering any at the time, you can literally just say, well, now's not a good time then. Like, I really need to get in at like this rate. That's the only way I can do it. And I honestly feel like they would honor it or at least negotiate with you, counter offer with you. So it's typically $180 at F45 for unlimited, but I get my original rate of $160 because I was at $160 when I got my full-time membership of F45 when I got off Gym Pass after I quit my first corporate job. Then I got back on Gym Pass when I started this corporate job and didn't have my F45 exclusive membership anymore. So they were able to honor my original rate, which is great. So that's one place where we are cutting down in the budget. We're going to try and limit ourselves to coffee only twice a week out, and that's kind of just like weekends basically. I don't really want to make sacrifices there because that's something that Griffin and I love to do together on the weekends and like try new places, and it's also something I'll often do to catch up with friends, so I don't want that to be something that like impacts my happiness or anything. And then going off of that, we're eating at home as much as possible. I will say this month of August, we have so many social related plans with eating out and everything, but we did know about them ahead of time, which helped. Another thing is nails. If y'all haven't noticed, I don't have my nails done. I pretty much always have my nails done. I did get one last pedicure while I still have like the income I have a couple weeks ago because I desperately needed my toes done. As far as like manicures go, I'm going to be sticking to painting my own nails or press on nails when I want to do them. I do want to do press-ons tonight, I think, because my nails just look really, really bad right now. So that will save me a good $65 a month after tip probably. For my phone, y'all know I got a new phone recently, and I was originally paying $110 to be on my own plan. I really needed a new phone because mine was very glitchy. I had the 13. Wasn't receiving all the calls I was getting. My storage was full, which is a nightmare if you're a creator. So I ended up going onto my father-in-law's, like, my husband, his family's plan, because I was able to get on their plan and get a new phone and finance that new phone, obviously interest free and everything, for $86 a month compared to the $110 I was paying for just myself. So I'm just sending my father-in-law that money every month, but that saved me $24 a month. Definitely going to be saving money in gas because I was definitely driving a lot with work and going in office, so that's not necessarily like a fixed amount I can state, but I will be saving money there, which is nice. I'm planning on doing no buy for like skincare, makeup, unless it's like a product that I don't have any back stock of or any kind of like comparable product for. Most of the time for like hair, skin, nails, makeup, I have enough PR to like keep me in stock, but I'm not gonna let myself buy any new products or anything because I genuinely don't need them. So I'm going no buy in that situation. And then in another situation I'm saving money is with books. I love going to the bookstore and buying books every now and then, and I honestly don't feel like I do it that often. It's like every 2 to 3 months probably. I just get an itch to go to a bookstore and buy some books. I am going to keep Kindle Unlimited because I've actually been like utilizing it a good bit recently, and I plan to utilize it more. But I will be sticking to my Libby holds and my physical TBR of all the books on my shelf that I haven't read yet. And if I really want to buy a book, we're going to go on Pango, which is like kind of like Poshmark, but for books, where you can like sell your used books and just buy them from people. Or I will be going the half price books to save some money there. But I really shouldn't need to buy any books. If I'm doing that, it's because I just want to buy them and it's not because I need to. We were having cleaners come to our house like every other week, but honestly the last 2 months it's only been like once a month, and it's just because we've been busy and I haven't even thought about it, and I've just been spot cleaning on my own. But we're definitely either going to completely cut them out or just have them come once a month. I think we'll probably still have them come once a month because I think that's worth it and doable to have like a good deep clean and us just maintain the cleaning on a weekly basis outside of that. And it's in our budget and it works in our budget. But if it comes down to it, it will get cut. And then for groceries, I'm just trying to be better about just like not impulse buying. I used to just love going to Whole Foods and grabbing like random snacks, creamers, like all this stuff. Not really gonna be doing that anymore, and like only getting the things I truly need from that store when I go. And I'm trying to plan out our meals to where I'm utilizing similar groceries to, one, reduce waste, and two, just reduce the cost of groceries. Because for example, if I'm like making these 5 different recipes this week, but they're all using like completely different herbs, different veggies, whatever, that's expensive and is likely going to result in a lot of waste. I always throw out like so much cilantro every week, I feel like. So like this week, for example, I had 2 recipes that required basil, and getting like fresh basil is kind of expensive because it's not that much of it. But I was able to utilize all of it this week and have no waste because I plan to have 2 recipes that incorporated it. Getting like fruit and herbs that isn't pre-cut. I'll do some fruit that's like pre-cut, like the mango I used for my mango chia seed pudding, because I didn't want to have to wait on the mangoes to be ripe to be able to make that for my breakfast, since I wanted them at the beginning of this week. I got that mango pre-cut. But I'm normally somebody who will get like all the herbs pre-cut because it just makes life so much easier. But as y'all just saw with prepping the marinade for dinner, I was cutting up so many herbs, which definitely kind of sucked because I'm used to just being able to like dump what I have in, and it's like so quick and easy. When you're having to use like multiple different herbs in a recipe, buying pre-cut, it's like $3 for a little quarter cup container, which is like what you would use in a recipe generally speaking, versus like $1. So it's like $2 per herbs that you're saying. So that's like 1 coffee out basically. And also just not going to be doing like a ton of weekend outings and shopping and stuff. We'll be enjoying our mortgage, reading at home, having people over here instead of going out to eat so much, really utilizing our home and our space instead of like going elsewhere to do things. That's the bulk though of where we've kind of like cut back and where we are cutting back. And then one other thing is with our saving and investing, we're just not being as aggressive for this temporary time frame, and we'll temporarily not be able to save as aggressively and invest as aggressively as we have been, but it's okay because it's temporary. We're still going to be able to save some and still going to be able to invest a little bit, which we're very grateful for. It's just not going to be as much as we set aside before that we were doing. But that is the budget revision and overview. I just really wanted to share that with you guys. Also, if you're still watching, let me know if you're liking this vlog and just like the different longer chatty portion segments. I feel like this is like literally a long FaceTime or just like a podcast episode on how I'm starting over and just like changing things in our life. But it's been fun. Camera's about to die. I've been having a very cozy evening, kind of just like nerding out, honestly. I did my nails and I'm so glad I did that. It hasn't been as bad, but when I was like awaiting on hearing back about whether or not I was getting my new job or not, and then like right before I put in my 2 weeks at my current job, I was really anxious and I was picking the living crap out of the skin around my nails because I didn't have them done. And I truly like will not touch my nails if they're done. It's like the craziest psychological thing. But I did my static nails press-ons. They're a really, really pretty nude pink, but I really love the shape and length of these. They're like literally perfect. Probably my favorite shape and length that I've done from static nails. And I used their brush-on nail glue for the first time. Normally I'll do the squeeze glue because I felt like it was stronger. I was trying to do the brush-on glue last time I tried to do it, but I think that the brush on nail glue is going to be great because I realized like how to work with it, and I think it's going to be great. So I did my nails and watched some YouTube while I was doing that, and then I heard Arabella Touchstone talk about some cozy iPad games, and I've just kind of stolen Griffin's iPad. I have an iPad Air that I got forever ago in college in like 2019, so it's 6 years old, but it still works. It dies like extremely fast, so I think playing a game on it would die so fast. So it's basically always dead. So I've been using his a lot because his is only like 2 years old, I think. Arabella had talked about some cozy games to play on your iPad, and started playing Good Coffee, Great Coffee on my phone the other day, just when I was like not wanting to doom scroll, but I was wanting to just like chill on the couch. And I was doing that while we just like had the TV on, and it was just like so cozy and fun. And it plays like jazzy music or like cozy coffee shop music in the background of the game. And it's just one of those like repetitive task games. It's just like very satisfying to play. I always loved playing those when I was younger, and when I was in middle school I had to take typing classes, and I always loved playing this game on the computer. I think it was like called Papa's Burgers and like Papa's something, and I'm pretty sure they have those games for the phone, and it's like the same concept. But I love that this one's a coffee shop because I get to live out my barista dreams. So I played that while watching Emmy Rosam's Animal Crossing live play that she's been doing, uploading those like every other Monday. So I've been enjoying like putting those on in the background while I work, or just like right now while I was doing another like mindless activity to have in the background. It's so nice. A really nice cozy Monday evening, but the sun is setting and it looks gorgeous outside. And we're gonna walk Ella in a second once Griffin's ready, and go on a little bit longer of a walk since it's actually pretty nice out this evening. It's not too hot since it rained today. And then we're gonna watch episode 4 of The Summer I Turned Pretty because we're all caught up except for that episode, and a new episode comes out this week. Heading off to work. I have like screaming right now because the dryer's on, but I'm wearing this top from Amazon. I have a list on my storefront that's like for workwear inspired stuff, but I'm gonna update and put more on it. Right now, all I have on it is mostly like stuff that I've either almost bought or stuff I do have, but I do want to update it and add some more stuff. So top's Amazon, my Daggy Dove bag, Prince Supply belt, Prince Supply pants, and my Nordstrom Rack Steve Madden flats. But this is my last like real day in office because I am going in Friday just to drop off my computer and stuff, so I'm really not going to be there. I think I'm just going to drop it off at lunchtime and call it quits then. Today I do know I'm getting lunch with at least like 2 of my work friends, so that'll be good. And I kind of saved any of like my last emails I need to do and stuff for today so that I wouldn't just be like sitting in the office because I don't have a ton of work right now. Yesterday I did prepare like my last return, at least I think. Hopefully nobody gives me one in the next 3 days, but it was a final year return and a Blake return, so I was like, I feel like this is nice to go out on like an easy one that's a final year, like it's my final year and day and week in public accounting. So I don't really have much going on. I'm really just like trying to update the people I work with, like the status of stuff and like where it's at, so nobody's like, okay, where did we leave off since I'm leaving now. So that's that, but let's head to the office. I have my pumpkin cinnamon latte, my water, and I'm bringing my mango chia seed pudding. I really love this mango chia seed pudding when I had it last time like a month ago, but this time the texture is like really throwing me off, so I might not even eat it. We'll see. I added some cacao nibs to it though so that there'd be a crunch because right now it's like all soft and I just like can't do that. I am about to leave the office. It doesn't feel like my last day since I know I'm coming back Friday to turn in my computer and stuff, but I did like give hugs to people who I like talked to in the office and stuff. But honestly, the office was kind of empty today besides like the people who I knew would come in because we had planned to go to lunch. They go to local foods. I didn't get any clips because I was just like with my coworkers, but it was good last day. I'm leaving early because like literally don't have a point in sitting there until 5 o'clock and just heading home to beat traffic and check on the pets. We're gonna do an easy dinner tonight since we both were in office. I think we're gonna do taco salad. I would say it's bittersweet, but I'm honestly not bittersweet. I'm just happy. I'll give you guys a quick Whole Foods haul.
I know I said talking about budget stuff that I wouldn't be like doing random Whole Foods trips and just like getting whatever. I did go in with purpose today. We have a Ninja Creamy and we don't use it often, but Griff and I want to use it more often, especially like the summer. In the summer, we love going and just like getting desserts together like once a week. Whether that's going to DQ and getting a Blizzard. We've been twice in the last like month to get the Fluffernutter Blizzard. It's so freaking good. And it's only here in the summer. So we got one of those last week and then like the week before, I think. And then we love getting boba at the Alley. The ube, taro, brown sugar, tapioca boba is so flipping good, and it's not even like that sweet. It's just the brown sugar boba that's sweet, but I am obsessed with that boba right now. It's like my fixation. So in an effort to just like not spend money going and getting dessert and stuff, and to just like do stuff at home, and obviously like it'll be healthier at home too, I wanted to get some stuff for that, and then just a few other things. Y'all know that we are pretty much gluten-free for the most part because of Griffin, so I got some gluten-free noodles because on the weekends, we love just doing like a salad kit and buttered noodles at like lunchtime, something very simple. We're having to work so hard to like make lunch and dinners all through the work week. It's nice to have something easy on the weekends, and we didn't have any gluten-free pasta. And then I got him more of these. He really likes these as just like a snack to have at the house. The cheddar Simple Mills crackers. I got these as a mix-in for the creamy. I have a recipe I'm gonna try, but it's like my own recipe that I was just like thinking about things we could do for the creamy that I thought would be good. All of Annie's stuff was like 30% off, and then like extra percentage off with Prime. I love Neapolitan stuff, and I love bunny grams from Annie's. They're so good. It's basically kind of the same thing as these, but these were on like mega sale, so I got these instead of getting the honey cinnamon of these to go with these ones. But I figured these would be a good mix in for the creamy, and so with these. And then there was only one left of these, and I have seen these in Whole Foods before. I thought it would be good for something if I'm just like in a pinch one morning, but something fun to try while I'm allowing myself to get fun stuff at Whole Foods this one last time. But the coconut caramel Girl Scouts Chameleon cold brew. Y'all know I love coconut. These little coconut caramel cookies are like my favorite things from Girl Scouts too. And I got the Mooala organic banana milk, and I got this to put in the creamy. Y'all know I love it in my coffee, and H-E-B actually does sell this, so I could have gotten some from there, but I forgot to this week, but I am out of it. The recipe I'm gonna try is doing a cup, because I think that's a serving. Yeah, so 1 serving of milk of your choice. I'm gonna do the banana milk, just like a dash of cinnamon, either a tablespoon of honey or sugar-free maple syrup, because I do have some of that, sea salt, just like a pinch of it, and then 2 to 3 pitted dates. I'm gonna blend that up in a blender, but not like all the way, since the creamy blends it some more. So just do like a quick blend to mix everything together and put it in our little Ninja Creamy cup, and then freeze for like 12 to 24 hours, I think, because I don't think it'll be frozen before dessert time tonight. Then do one of these as mix-ins, and such, or no sugar added dark chocolate chips, and I think that'll be a fire recipe. But I'll make it, and y'all will see if it's any good when we try it. Our next order of business, resetting before I start my new job, and just starting over at 27. I'm wanting to do some like major self-care. I desperately need to dermaplane my face, and I desperately need to do like a face mask. I don't have any more Medicube ones left, unfortunately. I do really love those, but I found this one in my drawer. It's the Cure Zombie Cell Clarifying Mask. So I'm gonna try this one out, but I'm only gonna do it like here and here, I guess, because this nose strip, I just forgot it needs to be on for like 6+ hours. So I'm gonna really isolate my nose area for pores. This is the Zitstica Goo Getter strips that I really, really love. So I'm gonna put this on first and then dermaplane, maybe, or should I dermaplane first? Well, I don't really dermaplane right here, so I think I'm fine. I'll just put this on, then dermaplane, and then mask. And dermaplaned, and then my nose strip's still on. I'm gonna put on lashes now, just so I can feel better about myself. You have a discount code with them if you want to try them out. They can last up to, depending on the one to get, 7 days or 10 days. So it's like lash extensions at home. I don't know if I want to try out these natural doll eye for like a more natural look, or if I want to do the Pro Lash Classic ones. These definitely like have a more dramatic look. Can't decide which I want to do though. Their classic starter kit is $85 and it like comes with everything you need in 3 sets, which is great. I think I kind of want to try the doll one. definitely a softer texture because I only gave it a couple hours, like 5 hours to freeze. But give it longer, it'll definitely come out like ice cream. Try it bites. Cheers. That is so freaking good.
Right.
I am obsessed with this. I can't believe how simple this was, and it's so good. It's so cold though. Oh my god. I just finished up editing all the rough cuts for this vlog, and I literally have an hour and 20-minute long vlog right now. And I'm like so torn because I'm debating on cutting out all of the TBR portion and just refilming that and putting it in my next video. I'm just like so torn on what I want to do because I just feel like it's so long and nobody's gonna watch that much of it. I had like a ton of plans for this vlog, but then I kind of realized I was being overly ambitious with how much I could pack in it, considering how much catching up we had to do. And I really just wanted to like chat with you guys about everything because I don't know, I just feel like that's what I do, especially with these big decisions and stuff. I used to always go to the podcast when I have these big life changes and like really walk through them with you guys, so I just kind of did it here instead. But I hope you guys liked just like chatting through all of that and everything, and I hope it was helpful or inspiring to you guys too, because ultimately that's the goal in me sharing all of this detail at the end of the day. I'm actually starting a new vlog tomorrow, a little bit of relaxing and a little bit of trying to get ahead before my new job starts Monday, and just like preparing myself for that and preparing like my workspace for my work from home space. So definitely be sure to come back for that vlog. If you made it to the end, comment the celebration emoji, like the face, the little party streamer mouth thing with the little party hat. You know what I'm talking about. So I can know who made it to the end. You guys are real ones if you did. But yeah, I'm starting a new vlog tomorrow, doing something very exciting, and tomorrow's my actual last day of work. Basically done, which it feels really anticlimactic as always. But thank you guys so much for watching this vlog and for all the support already. There was also some other stuff I was gonna put in this vlog, but it had to do with a brand deal, and I'm actually gonna create more work for myself and put it in a different video so that this one can go up as soon as possible and go up on the day I start my new job instead of having to go up later. I started my Instagram and TikTok being ahead of you guys. I'm ready for YouTube to get on the same page, so I'm ready for this vlog to go up Monday. And then I'm going to film a vlog this weekend that I'm gonna have to turn around and edit quickly by next Thursday, I think. And then next week I'll have to film and edit a vlog by Friday, I think. So I've got a lot I'm gonna have to do after work and stuff next week, but it'll be a bunch of onboarding stuff anyways, I think, for the most part. So shouldn't be anything too crazy, and I don't have to commute, so it's gonna save me so much time. But I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe if you aren't already to stick around for this next chapter, and follow me on social media because I do post on TikTok and Instagram basically daily, and turn on post notifications so you don't miss an upload. And I will see you all in my next vlog. Thanks so much for watching.